Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Flip 7 and compare it against the iPhone 16 and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, the one thing to keep in mind here is that between both these devices, they are fairly different, right? The iPhone 16 is a little bit of a different phone than the Flip 7. The Flip 7 is like this flipping phone that opens up. The iPhone 16 is a phone that's basically stagnant. It's going to stay in its same spot over and over again, right? That doesn't mean one is way better than the other one, but there are a lot of different things that go into it as well, like design and price tag. So we'll take a look at both these phones throughout this whole entire video. But first things first, if you do want to go ahead and pick up some phones that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones. The iPhone 16 came out late last year and it's going to be giving us on the front side a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of panel for the most part, it still is, a good panel. It's not amazing and it's not tremendous, but it seems like it kind of gets the job done for the most part. So with something like the iPhone 16, its display, it's giving you 2000 nits of brightness and it is giving you 60 hertz and that's it. So the panel brightness itself is not bad, but the refresh rate really isn't that great. And that is one thing that does kind of bother me a little bit, right? Like I would love to have had a little bit of a better type of display refresh rate. And that is kind of one of the main issues that you're going to be running into here. So you're also getting a dynamic island, which is bigger than a lot of, hole punch displays that you might be getting now as well. So I feel like it's a good looking device, but I feel like in terms of the refresh rate, Apple needs to kind of push it up a little bit. Like it's been enough time. I think they can go forward to kind of give us a little bit of a better refresh rate there. With the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, if they still call it that, or Flip 7, sorry, this one is giving you a 6.9 inch foldable dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. So this one's slightly different, right? Because it's a foldable display, it opens up and opens down, but it's also giving you a 4.1 inch cover display. Now here's the crazy thing. The cover display that's on the front side of the Flip 7 is going to be giving you a Super AMOLED display, and even that one is 2600 nits of brightness and 120 hertz. That's meaning that the front cover display of the Galaxy Flip 7 is going to be a higher refresh rate and a higher brightness than the main display of the iPhone 16. That is actually pretty crazy. If it was up to me, I think I would probably still have the front display of the Galaxy Flip 7 than the iPhone 16's main display, which is actually pretty crazy. So I think that's another thing, like Apple, I think it's time to, increase that refresh rate on the iPhone base models and give us a little bit of a better device panel when it comes down to that side. We'll see what ends up happening, but that's kind of another thing that I'm kind of seeing there as well, which is kind of funny. Now, on top of that, I think another thing to keep in mind here is the rest of the build quality. And the build quality on both these phones is fairly good. They still feel very good. They still look very good. I genuinely don't have much to complain about here when it comes down to the exterior and the design. They both have very good build qualities. They both have frosted glass backs. So those things are always nice to have. And like I said, I don't really have that much to complain about there when it comes down to that particular side. On the back side, they're both giving you dual camera setups and they're giving you wireless charging. The Galaxy Flip 7 is giving you reverse wireless charging though, which is a really nice thing to have. Unfortunately, the 16 doesn't have it. So you can tell that the Flip 7 is more unique and is giving you like a kind of a better, build quality and everything like that. But a big thing to keep in mind here is that the price tag of the Flip 7 is like $1,100, with the iPhone 16 is more like, $800. So there's hundreds of dollars of differences right there. So that is also going to be kind of a slight thing to remember there from that side. Like if you're wanting the phone that's going to be giving you a better value per dollar, it's going to have to be something maybe like an iPhone 16, maybe. But, the Flip 7 is going to go down to the used market. It's going to be a much cheaper phone here as well. So that kind of covers it up from there. When it comes down to the camera side, both these phones, like I said, are giving you dual camera setups. Now, they're kind of slightly the same. I mean, the iPhone 16 is a 48 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide. The Flip 7 is 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide. So there are some slight differences there. They both give you 4K at 60 on the front and the back. So that is a nice thing. There's not really much to knock here. And I do think if you're going to go through and pick up either one of these phones, they're both probably going to be giving you like a good experience. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but it's going to be good enough for the most part. And you might not really complain about the experience from either one, right? They're both giving you a really good camera, but it's it's not going to be the best of the best, but I will still say the iPhone 16 camera is probably going to be better than the Flip 7. From what I'm seeing, from what I personally tested, it looks to me that the Flip 7 might be giving you an overall, like it's going to be a great camera, but I think the iPhone 16 is going to be a consistent camera for the most part. So from that side too, that kind of covers it up there. When it comes down to software longevity, both these phones are going to be lasting for many, many years to come. So both these devices are going to be here for like a long time. So it's not like one device is going to last way longer than the other one. Both these phones are still going to be supported with software. There's not really that much to hate on here between both. And I think that in and of itself is a really nice thing to kind of keep in mind there, because neither one of these phones are going to feel like you're going to be outdated by the time you buy them. And that's always a nice thing to have. You know, if you're able to go through and like get a phone that's going to be giving you that type of capability, well, that right there is going to be a really nice thing. So if you're looking at the Galaxy Flip 7 or you're looking at the iPhone 16, both these phones are going to be able to give you a really good experience when it does kind of come down to that particular side. So from that side too, that's kind of another big thing to keep in mind there. Battery life wise, the iPhone 16 is giving you a 3,561 mAh battery. The Flip 7 is giving you a 4,300 mAh battery. So like I said before, that right there is another very big thing to keep in mind there too. You are getting kind of an overall bigger size battery inside of the Flip 7 than from something like the iPhone 16. And when it comes down to the performance, the iPhone 16 is giving you the Apple A18 chipset inside with 8 gigs of RAM, where the Flip 7 is giving you the Exynos 2500 chipset or the Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset, depending on which one you get, with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So the one thing I can definitely tell you between both these types of phones is that they're both going to be very good performing devices. The Galaxy Flip 7 is giving you kind of a better type of, it's going to give you more RAM. So it's going to give you 4 gigabytes more of RAM, which I think would be nice. That's a really nice thing to have. But I think with the, iPhone 16, it still is going to be a very fast phone. I think for everyday usage by everyone out there, you're going to have a really good time between both of these. The thing that I do like about the Flip 7 though is that it is giving you 120 hertz refresh rate. I feel like that right there is going to be a nice thing to kind of keep in mind there, and that is going to be in and of itself kind of a cool thing that I actually like. I think with the Flip 7, I think this is a good phone from a performance side, but I think the iPhone 16 is also a very good type of device too. So to kind of sum this whole entire thing up, right, if I'm being honest, I think both these phones are still very, very good, right? Obviously. I think the Flip 7 is more of a flagship. I think with its higher refresh rate, kind of better build quality, the flipping phone and like the screen in the front, all that stuff, it's actually really cool. But I don't know if this is necessarily a great value per dollar. Besides the flipping thing, I don't really think this would be a phone that I would recommend people to buy because it seems overvalued for what you're getting. I think a Samsung Galaxy S25, at least a used one, is a better alternative than something like this. And I think for the iPhone 16, I think an iPhone 15 Pro is a better alternative than that phone. So I look at both these phones and I probably wouldn't recommend anyone to buy either one of these. I feel like people would rather go through and buy something like, a Galaxy S25 or an iPhone 16 or an iPhone 15 Pro. So that's kind of the way I see it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.